أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome back to another blessed day of the month of Ramadan. Today being the 15th day, that this is officially the halfway point of this blessed month of Ramadan. And today in Ramadan Reflections, we want to look at verse number 37 from Surah number 24, Surah An-Nur, the chapter of light. And the topic that we want to look at is spirituality in the workplace. Now, before we go into the verse, just as a very brief preamble, we live in a world, especially those of us who live in secular societies, or really societies which claim to be secular. Unfortunately, they seem to be very hypocritical in these regards. But nonetheless, we live in these secular societies in which we're told, keep religion at home. Don't bring religion into the workplace. Don't talk about God. For example, many of us work in, if we work in the corporate world, we'll be told that when you're discussing with employees at lunch or at break time, don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion, don't talk about gender issues. Try to keep these three topics at least outside of the workplace, because they evoke emotion, and the people are very passionate about these sorts of issues, and we don't want problems to come up at work. And so we're told, leave religion outside, don't talk about religion, don't talk about spirituality at work. Which is strange, because the same culture that tells you and I not to talk about God or Allah or His Prophet, they have no trouble putting up a Christmas tree in December at work. There's nothing religious about that. They have no problem giving us off days during Easter to commemorate another religious holiday. That's okay. Or any of the other number of holidays in the year which have very clear religious undertones to them. But nonetheless, we'll leave their hypocrisy aside, because they were founded on a Christian nation, apparently. But we're told that when it comes to spirituality, they don't talk about God, and so we won't talk about God in that light. But we do want to reflect on our personal lives and our spiritual connection to God when we go to work. How do we connect to God at work, at school, wherever that may be on a daily basis? Before we go into the understanding of this verse, let us look at the verse, let us listen to this verse of the Quran, and then come back and think about it and reflect upon it for a few minutes. Allah says the following within the noble Quran.
رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة.
Men and women of great distinction, whom neither commerce nor exchange nor any other worldly preoccupation can divert them from the remembrance of God, and establishing the prayer in conformity with all of its conditions. This verse makes it clear to us that humanity, men and women, although Allah uses the word rijal in relation to men, but commentators of the Quran tell us that this is not limited to men, this verse. It refers to men or women. But God tells us that men or women who do not let the day-to-day affairs of this mundane world distract them from the remembrance of God, whether it be business, whether it be trading, commerce, engagement in work and in economic transactions, that these things don't let them be diverted from God. Basically, we have to appreciate the fact that nothing should ever divert us from being spiritual, being connected to God, whether it be at work, whether it be at school, whether it be on vacation. God always needs to be at the forefront of our mind, even to the point where, and sometimes people will say, well, this is extreme, but it's not really. It's just the minimal requirement is something as simple as praying our daily prayers at work or at school or while, traveling on vacation. Some people will say, well, I'm going on vacation. I can't pray on the plane. I can't pray on the cruise ship, especially on the plane. If I'm praying on my seat, or if I go to the back of the plane and I offer my prayers, people will look at me strange, and they might tell the stewardess that this radical fundamentalist is praying his prayers in the plane, and there's they feel uncomfortable. Obviously, we have to be wise and respectable about it, but really, when it comes to prayers, there should be nothing that can prevent us from offering our prayers. Many people have, said to me, and I'm sure we may have experienced this, that, I can't pray at work. I don't have a room to pray. I can't make wudu. I can't do all of this. It's too difficult. And we have to realize that today in the 21st century, many companies are adapting. They will have rooms of a general nature, spirituality room, because many people of different religions want to take time off and just meditate, reflect, contemplate on their breaks. They don't necessarily want to eat lunch or go on their coffee break. They just might want to go and sit and meditate. And so many companies today have rooms for prayers. We have to make the best opportunities of this. Many of our youth, our children go to school, elementary school, junior high, high school, university, and obviously prayer time comes, whether they're in the afternoon time or evening time, if they're doing a lab or some homework, and they have to pray. Praying should always be there. We should never say that, okay, I'll pray later on. I'll wait. I'll get home late at night, and I would have missed the prayers. They would have lapsed in time, but I'll pray later on. No, we have to realize, especially if we're leaders of a community, of a company, that for us, first and foremost, spirituality should always be in the workplace. We should never delay our prayers. We should never say, I'll pray later. Obviously, if you're in a meeting and you can't get out of it, that's understandable. But at the first opportunity to pray, we should be on that prayer mat and completing our prayers to God, thanking Him for what He has given to us. And this verse makes it clear where God tells us that there are people who are not diverted. They're not sidetracked. They're not distracted by this temporal world. They don't let the world get to them. They don't tell their job, they don't tell their prayers that I have my job to complete. Rather, they tell their job, I have my prayers to complete. See, this is how we should look at the world. Don't tell Allah, I have work to do. Don't tell Allah, I have school work to do. Don't tell Allah, I have vacation to do. Tell your work, I have God to talk to. I have my prayers to complete. Don't tell your homework, I have to finish this now. Don't tell your salat, I have to finish my homework right now. Tell your homework, I have to finish my salat right now. I have to finish my prayers right now. And I'll get back to you when I'm done talking to my God. Don't tell your vacation time, or don't tell your prayers, I have to go on vacation, I'll pray you later. No, tell your vacation time, I have to go and thank God for giving me the opportunity to spend money, to spend time on this vacation. I'm going to go and pray to God to thank Him for this blessing, for this bounty. And then I'll come back and enjoy my time off. You see, if we work like this, if we have spirituality around us, we engage in our prayers on time, we fulfill all of our covenants to God, we will benefit from all of these other actions, and God will give us more. We will be blessed by God. We will be given bounties and peace of mind and a tranquil heart by God. But we have to put God at the forefront of everything, and everything else should be after that. As we conclude in this 15th day of Ramadan, we ask God to give us the ability to place Him number one, to give reverence to Him as a priority, and that we can serve Him in every way possible. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.